Hi, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my mini-series where we look at every Chuck E. Cheese animatronic character. Before we begin, I want to apologize for the lengthy intro in part 1. I just wanted to clear up who I'll be covering and give all the credit required because, of course, I don't own anything featured. I can also imagine that some of you might be a bit confused as to why I talked about the main characters first, but I am talking about every character, and those 5 have some pretty interesting histories themselves. Also, I butchered Jeremy Blado's last name and probably just did it again, and I'm really sorry. But all those are done, so now we can get to the good stuff. The retired characters. So let's jump back into it. Back when Pizza Time Theater first opened, the animatronic band featured was called the Pizza Time Players. The original members were Chuck E. Cheese, Jasper T. Jowls, Pasquale, and 2 retired characters, Crusty the Cat and the Warblettes. We'll start with Crusty the Cat. According to the Pizza Time Theater program from 1977, Crusty was the cat's meow in singing and joke telling, and was Chucky's right-hand man. He wore a baseball shirt with the name Swingers and the number 13 on the front. Early promotional material projected him as a high-profile character. Ironically, Crusty was meant to be a creature of misfortune, hence the unlucky number 13, and early was situated a contrast character to Chucky. While Crusty was the one really running the show, Chucky was the dim-witted idiot who thought he was in charge. Some early skits reveal this when Chucky mispronounces his lines, and Crusty remains silent on purpose to let Chucky look foolish. Crusty appeared in the earliest show tapes at the original store and was voiced by John Widelock, who also voiced Chucky. Please forgive me if I butcher that, I'm so sorry. The animatronic was updated in 1978 with a more realistic look and having a 3D figure and a turnable head. Here's the bot in action in 1978.
Need a big C.
Honey bun, won't you be our birthday one?
Please say yes, don't say no.
And we'll tell the world.
Crusty became the first character to be retired in 1978 after 1 year of use. He would later be replaced by the more sinister-looking Mr. Munch. Several earlier skits with Crusty were later replaced with Mr. Munch substituting in for his lines. Today, only one Crusty prototype figure exists, along with a single Chucky. Not much else to say other than he looked less intimidating than the original Pizza Time Players. The Warblettes. The Warblettes were 3 singing crows, or magpies, that would rock back and forth and sing backup vocals. Originally, the Warblettes could only move their beaks. They briefly got replaced in 1978 by a different group, we'll talk about them next, before being brought back in 1980. Now they were closer to each other, had different shaped beaks, bigger eyes, and could rock back and forth. In 1983, they received a redesign with white fur, bright dresses, and rainbow hair, giving them a more colorful appearance. However, this variation is very rare with only a few known to exist. The Warblettes remained until the creation of the Rocker and Sea stage in the late 1980s, when they were replaced by the Singing Flowers. The Warblettes can be viewed at jungle gyms in Ohio, but no longer work. They can also be seen at Smitty's Super Service Station in Sandy Hook, Mississippi, a private collection. They're still in good condition. They're also on display at the American Treasure Tour Museum in Oak, Pennsylvania. The Mopsey Sisters. The Mopsey Sisters were 3 female humanoid mops who had sticks for bodies and actual mop heads for hair. They were positioned in a small black barrel that was cut in half. Their purpose was to provide backup vocals, but the only proven songs are Hooray for Hollywood and a version of Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Very little of them is known, mainly because they were only used for 1 year from 1978 to 1979. They only appeared at Cruiser Road and Winchester Boulevard before they permanently left, and the Warblettes returned until their departure in the late 1980s. Finally, that one prop I mentioned, the clapperboard. The clapperboard was a prop consisting of various animal paws, like an elephant, a duck, and a horse. it would clap for the animatronic band when the song finished. I can only assume that the board was meant to signify that this was the time for the audience to applaud. The board looked pretty rough in Cruiser Road, San Jose. Today, only 3 clapper boards remain in existence. One at Enchanted Forest Water Safari in Rocky and the Ramblin' Rascals, one at Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and one at Smitty's Super Service Station. The former 2 are just props and don't function, while the latter is the only one working that's still in use today. It's kind of a part of history. That's all for part 2. In part 3, we'll be taking a look at the 4 female guest stars. Personally, I'm really excited for that part. Thanks for watching, remember to like and comment, and I'll see you then.